The average person will earn millions in a lifetime and still retire afraid, not because they did not work hard, not because opportunity was impossible, but because of 7 quiet habits, 7 purchases so normal and so socially praised that they siphon wealth invisibly, like termites inside the beams of a beautiful house, hollowing it out while the paint still shines. I want you to sit with that for a moment. Imagine money flowing through your hands over decades, paychecks stacking upon paychecks, bonuses, side hustles, gifts, tax returns, all of it amounting to a fortune large enough to change a life, and yet, at the end, there is anxiety instead of peace. That is not a failure of intelligence. It is not a failure of character. It is a failure of awareness. In the natural world, survival is rarely about strength alone. It is about efficiency. A lion does not chase every movement in the grass. It waits. It studies. It moves only when the return is worth the energy. A bird does not build a palace of gold. It builds a nest strong enough to endure the wind. Nature wastes nothing. And yet we, clever as we are, live inside a system designed to make waste feel like reward. The world applauds when you upgrade, when you display, when you indulge. It whispers that you deserve it, that you have earned it, that this is what success looks like. And so you spend, not recklessly, not foolishly, but obediently. I am not here to shame you. I am here to free you. Because if you have ever felt that you are running hard yet remaining in the same place, if you have ever opened your bank app with a quiet sense of dread, if you have ever wondered why progress feels slower than it should, then perhaps it is not your effort that must change, but your habits. There are 7 purchases that quietly keep people broke, and each one is wrapped in logic, comfort, and social approval. Let me begin with a picture. Imagine a cage in a clearing, not a crude, rusty cage, but one crafted from polished gold. Sunlight reflects from its bars. Inside are soft cushions, constant food, protection from the rain. Animals passing by look at it and say how fortunate the creature inside must be. And inside sits a bird. The bird is comfortable, it is safe, it is admired, but it does not fly. Over time, its wings weaken, its instincts fade, and one day, even if the door were opened, it might hesitate. Comfort has replaced capability. That, my friend, is what many of our purchases do. They make the cage beautiful while quietly reducing our strength. The first purchase is status symbols, expensive phones that perform nearly the same tasks as modest ones, designer clothes chosen not for durability but for the logo stitched upon them, cars that cost more than a year of savings yet lose value the moment they leave the showroom. Now, there is nothing inherently wrong with beauty or craftsmanship, but you must ask yourself why you are buying it. If no one could see it, would you still desire it? If admiration were removed, would the purchase still make sense? When you buy status, you are often buying approval, and approval is a costly addiction. In nature, bright colors attract attention. Sometimes that attention brings mates. Sometimes it brings predators. In our world, bright financial display attracts something else: pressure. Pressure to maintain the image, pressure to upgrade when a newer model appears, pressure to keep up with friends who are playing the same game. And so you work not to build wealth, but to sustain perception. The wealthy often understand something counterintuitive. They do not seek to look rich. They seek to be stable. They prefer assets that generate income over items that generate compliments. They build quietly. They grow roots underground before stretching branches into the sky. The second purchase is high-interest debt. Buy now, pay later, 0 down, easy approval, monthly installments so small they seem harmless. But interest is not harmless. It compounds, it multiplies, it works tirelessly, not for you, but against you. If someone offered you an investment guaranteed to lose 20% every year, you would refuse. Yet many people accept credit card rates and financing terms that quietly do exactly that. Debt for assets that produce income can be strategic. Debt for consumption is a leash. It ties your future labor to yesterday's impulse. It steals options from your tomorrow. The third purchase is constant upgrades. Your device works perfectly well, But a new version appears with a slightly sharper screen, a slightly faster processor, a slightly different shape. Your wardrobe functions, but trends whisper that it is outdated. Your car runs smoothly, but a refreshed model promises subtle improvements. We have been trained to equate newness with progress. But new is not always better. Often it is simply newer. When you upgrade without necessity, you exchange capital for a momentary surge of excitement. That feeling fades quickly, and you are left with less money and the same life. The fourth purchase is convenience addiction. Delivery for every meal because cooking feels tedious. Rides for every short journey because walking feels slow. Subscriptions multiplying quietly in the background because each one is only a small monthly fee. Convenience has its place. It can save time for meaningful work. But when convenience becomes a reflex, you begin paying to avoid mild discomfort. And discomfort, in small doses, builds strength. Cooking teaches skill. Walking clears the mind. Managing without constant outsourcing builds resilience. Wealth is often constructed from small, repeated disciplines, not grand gestures. The fifth purchase is entertainment escapism. Now, I must be gentle here. Rest is vital. Joy is essential. Stories, music, games, laughter, these nourish the human spirit. But there is a difference between restoration and avoidance. If each evening dissolves into endless scrolling, binge-watching, consuming the achievements of others while your own ideas remain untouched, then entertainment has shifted from reward to refuge. Time is the only currency you can never replenish. When you spend it passively, you trade potential for distraction. Ask yourself honestly, are you resting so you can build or escaping because building feels difficult? The sixth purchase is lottery thinking. Tickets promising instant transformation, schemes guaranteeing extraordinary returns with minimal effort, hope sold in glossy packaging. There is something deeply human about longing for a breakthrough, a moment when everything changes overnight. But sustainable wealth rarely arrives in fireworks. It grows like a tree, slowly, season by season. Systems matter more than strokes of luck. Skills matter more than speculation. When you invest in competence, patience, and consistency, you build something durable. When you chase miracles, you often finance someone else's stability. The seventh purchase is proximity to small thinking. This one has no receipt, yet it may cost the most. If your environment normalizes debt, mocks saving, glorifies spending, and dismisses ambition, you will feel strange for wanting more. Humans adapt to their surroundings. If everyone around you treats survival as success, striving can seem arrogant. You do not need to abandon anyone, but you must protect your vision. Seek conversations that stretch you. Seek examples that expand your belief in what is possible. Your expectations shape your actions, and your actions shape your outcomes. Now, you may feel a weight as though the world is full of traps, but awareness is not a burden. It is liberation. Once you see the pattern, you can choose differently. Begin with something simple, a pause. Before any non-essential purchase, wait 48 hours. Urgency fades. Clarity remains. Ask one question before you spend. Does this build income, reduce expenses, or increase skill? If it does none of these, consider whether it serves your future or merely your mood. Notice your emotions before you buy. Are you bored, lonely, stressed, seeking validation? Write it down. You will discover patterns, and patterns, once named, lose their power. Imagine your future self, calm, financially secure, generous without fear. When faced with a choice, ask what that version of you would do. Each small decision aligned with that identity builds momentum. You are not broke because you are foolish. You are not stuck because you are incapable. You have been sold a story that consumption equals success. But look again to nature. The tallest tree does not announce its growth. It strengthens its roots in silence. The river does not rush because others flow faster. It follows its path steadily to the sea. Enduring strength is quiet. Choose roots over applause. Choose freedom over appearance. Choose discipline over decoration. Each time you resist a purchase that weakens you, you strengthen your wings. Each time you invest in skill, in patience, in assets rather than admiration, you move closer to open sky. Wealth is not merely money. It is margin. It is choice. It is the ability to say no without fear. If even one of these 7 habits felt familiar, do not feel shame. Feel gratitude that you have seen it clearly. Change does not require perfection. It requires awareness repeated daily. The cage door is rarely locked. It is simply comfortable. And comfort can be more binding than chains. So as you leave this conversation, carry one thought with you. Every purchase is a vote for the person you are becoming. Vote wisely. Vote patiently. Vote for freedom. And if this reflection stirred something within you, if it offered even a small shift in how you see your money and your future, then stay with me. Share in the comments which of these 7 you recognize most in your own life, and what step you will take today to move towards strength instead of display. Subscribe if you wish to continue exploring wealth not as noise but as wisdom, not as glitter but as growth. There is far more to uncover, and your journey toward true freedom is only just beginning.